The Ducati Scrambler has been one of the Italian brand's recent success stories, and over 50,000 units of the Scrambler have been sold globally. Well, in India too, over 500 units of the Scrambler was sold over the past 4 years. But as the brand's entry-level model, it wasn't the most perfect one out there. Well, Ducati has now brought in a lot of equipment and a lot of improvements over the older version. And for the 29 edition, the prices have gone up by 30 to 60,000. So let's take a look at what those changes are all about and how does it make the bike a lot better. Now the 2019 Ducati Scrambler range is not all that different. It looks a lot like the older version, and only if you come closer I can tell you what are the changes on the new model. Now at the outside you get this new LED DRL that has been added to the headlamp. It's still a round headlamp, and of course the fly screen and the headlamp guard are optional accessories, but the LED DRL is new. What's also new is the LED indicator. These ones though this time are self-cancelling ones, and they look really retro and are functional at the same time. Moving to the sides, in terms of cosmetic updates, what has changed is now that the engine is now all black. But breaking that monotony is the brushed silver elements over here and on the crankcase, and that really brings out the premium touch with the Ducati badging all over here. The tank remains the same, but what you get is a new monogram for the Scrambler Ducati right here, and it looks a little fresh while keeping the retro design in place. Well, the instrument cluster has been updated, and now you get a fuel gauge and a gear indicator, two very much needed and highly anticipated changes that have come into the Ducati Scrambler. What's also changed is the foam density of the seat. Now a lot of people complain that the Ducati Scrambler was a little stiff, and Ducati has made sure that it's a lot more comfortable than the older version. So the foam density has changed, and the seat design has changed a little to make it a little more comfortable. Now, adding to that is the fact that the suspension setup on the new Scrambler, the 2019 Scrambler, has changed on all three versions. So what you get here is a softer suspension setup, and that actually helps to iron out all the bumps and thuds which were very noticeable on the older version. The big update though is the fact that you now get cornering ABS on the 2019 Ducati Scrambler range. That's a big update also because it's the segment first feature, and well, it makes the bike a lot safer than it already was. This is the Scrambler icon, of course, and this you get with Pirelli TRELLIS tires, and these are dual purpose tires. It really fits very well with the whole retro theme of the motorcycle. And this particular model is priced at 7,89,000 in India. It's about 56,000 more expensive than the older version, but really justifies the price with all the new equipment that it has to offer. Well, this is the 2019 Ducati Scrambler Desert Sled. It is the adventure-ready version of the Scrambler, and for those who find a multi-starter maybe a little intimidating, the Desert Sled is the way to go. Now, what changes have come in 2019 are, well, the design remains the same, but you now get these black rims. They're still spoked wheels, but with Pirelli tires, but the rims are now black, and the engine remains black as well, but you get a red frame. The TRELLIS frame is now painted red. The seat obviously has been revised, and it's a lot more comfortable, and so is the suspension. But overall the bike remains identical to the older version, but smaller changes have been made to make it a lot more comfortable in terms of the riding experience. On all three versions, the engine remains the same. So it's the 803cc L-twin air-cooled engine. It makes 73 bhp and 67 Nm of torque. And the gearbox remains the same with a 6-speed unit. What you also get this time are these adjustable levers and a hydraulic clutch on all three motorcycles of the Scrambler range. And the handlebar door remains the same, but what you can adjust, of course, is the distance between the lever and the handlebar. So this and the fact that it's a lighter clutch to operate as well. If the desert sled is something too adventure ready for you and you want something for the streets, well, the Cafe Racer Scrambler 2019 is the way to go. Well, this one specifically gets a lot of upgrades over the standard Icon. Foremost, you get new spoked wheels instead of the alloy wheels that you saw on the older version, and the brakes are now radial mounted instead of the axle mounted ones of the older version. The paint scheme is completely new. You get a blue TRELLIS frame that looks gorgeous in my opinion. The engine is all blacked out, and you get the entire paint scheme is inspired from the DESMO 125 GP motorcycle of the 1960s. In fact, Ducati has tried to give this motorcycle a look from the British cafe racers of the 1960s, and that really sets the mood for anyone who's riding this. Obviously, you have the lowered handlebars, you have the bar end mirrors, part of the package, and a number of accessories that you can add to either of the three motorcycles. With respect to pricing, the 2019 Ducati Scrambler Cafe Race is priced at 9,78,000, whereas the Desert Sled is priced at 9,93,000 rupees. Well, the Icon, on the other hand, is priced at 7,89,000. Well, the Icon, Desert Sled, and the Scrambler and the Cafe Racer, would be available in dealerships by May this year, while the full throttle will be available by June this year.